Hello everyone, Xanaro Gaming coming at y'all with another video, and in today's video I am going to start doing some deck profiles for the Black Clover set that is coming out for Union Arena, and you should be having your pre-releases at your local game stores this upcoming weekend, and then the sets will officially drop next weekend. This one being two sets coming out at one time. There are going to be a lot of deck profiles that need to come out. But I'm going to start with my favorite one, and this one seems really hard to build, and it is going to be Noelle and Mimosa, two of my favorite characters in the show. The deck is really interesting because you have to do a lot of cycling for your events, and then getting payoff by having a certain amount of events in your sideline, and then, you know, just getting benefit from that. But with that being said, they gave us a lot of cards from the set of these three characters, because it is going to be Noelle, Mimosa, and Loropechika, and a lot of events. And I think that until this deck I get like the actual cards, I won't really be able to get a super solid list, but I do want to put these type of lists out for everyone, so that way when the set does come out, we kind of all have like some basis to build off of, right? But starting things off, this is going to be the main card in the deck, and this is Noel Silva. This is where all the payoff comes from, is getting her on the board. 5 energy, 1 action point, 4,000 plus BP, 1 energy generator. She is raid in life, so you can either perform raid or add it to your hand. The plus means you know we're getting a buff here. And she says, if you have used an event this turn, this character gains 1,000 BP and impact till the end of the turn. So you want to be able to get these events in your hand and use them, and then get even more effects with her. So having, you know, a 5k impact every turn is really strong, and we've seen how powerful that could be. And with her only costing 5 instead of, you know, 6 or 7 or 8, which is what some of these other green decks do that kind of have this payoff, she gets to be at 5, so you don't have to, you know, worry about the energy as much as you would in other decks, right? She also has, when played, this character gains all abilities listed below until the end of the turn if you have the required number of events in your sideline. So 2 or more, this character cannot be blocked by a character with 3,000 less BP, so it forces your opponent to try and block with their big characters, but she's going to have impact, so they're not going to want to do that, right? 4 or more, your opponent must block this character's attacks if able. So once you have 4 or more in the sideline, you're swinging with your 5k body with impact. Their little bodies can't block it, so then you're forcing them to attack with their big bodies, which is going to really hurt them and put them out in the game. I do think this can be a really cool, you know, combo kind of aggro control deck with some really high payoff. This card is so good. I can't wait to play with Noelle. She's got such a good arc in the anime. Really cool character, and I love this art design. It's very pretty, really cool, showing off her armor. Going into the second raid target in the deck is going to be Mimosa Vermilion of the Golden Dawn. 4 energy, 1 action point, 4,000 BP, 1 energy generator, and she is a raid target in life or add it to hand. You raid her on top of Mimosa Vermilion. When played, draw a card. Choose one of the following. So you always get to draw a card, and then you pick what you want. So this is giving you value back in your hands. That way you can do some really cool stuff with her. She says, reduce the AP cost of the next event card with 2 or less required energy you use from your hand this turn by 1. So essentially getting a free event card, right? As long as it doesn't cost 2 action points. And then you may place 1 event card from your hand into your sideline. If you do, you may add up to 1 red character card with 1 AP cost from your sideline to your hand. This lets you get back your Noelles or any other character that you're missing. I do like the versatility of this, right? She could have just said the first part, draw a card, and then play the AP of the next event you use for free, essentially, or minus by 1. But she goes the extra mile, and if you already have all your events set up in your hand, and you need to get into your Noelle, well, she lets you do that by trashing one of your event cards, and then you will be able to get those back and use them later as well. And this art is absolutely beautiful. Definitely probably my favorite art in the entire set, excluding alt arts, but honestly probably still pushing it. It's beautiful art. Going down the line to the other main, you know, power card of the set, or this for this deck, is going to be your Loropechika. And she is really good, but we're only running 2 of her, right? We're running 4 of both the raids. I feel like the deck is really tight for space, and you do want to have Loropechikas on your board for the name for all your other card effects, but she's just 4 energy, 1 action point, 4,000 BP. She is, you know, a draw trigger in life. She generates you 1 energy. She has nullified impact on her body, which is really good to have considering all this damage all these other decks are used to doing. And she also says, when played, you may place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. If you do, add up to 1 red event card with 2 or less required energy from your sideline to your hand. So you're going to be drawing cards and then using these other characters' effects to get these events back to your hand. She is really, really good, and I do feel like, you know, getting the event card back to your hand is going to be a really big deal. So maybe once the, you know, the set comes out and I can play around it a little bit, I hope I can find a way to maybe add more of her instead of just the 2. But the stars of the show are no doubt going to be, you know, Mimosa and Noelle, and the Loropechkas just kind of facilitate them to do better, right? With that being said, like I said, the space is tight, so one of the best cards in the deck is going to be this 3 energy, 1 action point Noelle, and she does generate you 3,000 or 2 energy, and she is 3,000 plus BP. She is an active trigger. The strongest, really, really good card. It's so strong. She has step, and then she also says activate main, place 1 card from your hand into the sideline. Once per turn, this character gains 1,000 BP until the end of the turn. Now, this card is really strong. Being one of, you know, another 4K body, but it is mainly your double energy generator, so you're not really trying to press the state of the game with her, using her as one of your big swingers. She's just a, you know, stable energy generator, and if you do need her to press the state of the game, you can do that by placing one of your cards into the sideline to give her that 1,000 BP. It is, you know, very versatile, and you can see that this deck is flexible in some of the things that they're doing. Awesome art here showing her, you know, in action in the Dragon's Lair outfit. Going down the line to the other 3s, it's really cool. All the characters got their 0, 1s, 3s, and 4s in the deck, and then we are running only 2 of the double energy Mimosa Vermilion. She is not a trigger, so I didn't want to go ton on her because I do think that you still want to keep your trigger counts high. She is 3 energy, 1 action point, 3,000 BP, double energy generator. When played, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 red event among them to your hand. From among them and add it to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. If you added a card to your hand, place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. So you look at the top 4, grab an event, and then you have to trash 1 card from your hand. Very interesting that they make you still trash the card because she doesn't have a trigger, right? So that feels bad a little bit that you want to be able to play more of this card, but I think her not having a trigger makes it a little harder. Going to the Loropechika, the 3 energy, 1 action point for her. She is 3,500 plus BP, and she does give you 1 energy generation. She is an active trigger, so she is not going to your hand. I do wish that these 2 were, you know, get triggers. That way you had fodder in your hand coming from your life, but it is what it is. She just says, during your turn, if you have 4 or more event cards in your sideline, this character gains 500 BP. So this Loropechika will be one of the bodies that you move up to push the state of the game, as you really don't want to do that too much with this Noelle, right? So this Noelle is also, you know, able to be a little more flexible, being essentially the Mimosa and the Loropechika combined, being able to give you the double energy and also being a body that you want to push. I only put her at 2 because, like I said, the Lotopechikas are a like sub package in the deck that help you out. Going down the line, we are going to our 2 energy, 1 action point cards, and this is a Noelle with 2,000 plus BP, and she generates you 1 energy, and she just says, when played, draw a card. Very unfortunate, again, though you see she does not have a trigger, so I'm only putting her at a 2 because there are already so many non-triggers. I think there's 10 in here that aren't triggers, or 9 cards that are not triggers, right? So we want to stay around that, you know, 38 to 42 triggers in a deck to keep it as consistent as possible. So only running 2 of this Noelle. Don't worry, we do run plenty of other ones, so having plenty of raid targets available for us is not an issue. This is the Balance Mimosa. We've seen a lot of these cards already. 1 energy, 1 action point, double energy generated, 1,500 BP. You play her, you have to return a character with 1 or less required energy to your hand. If you don't, you have to return her. So not want to go too crazy on those. It is really unfortunate. I kind of wish that this Noelle, or maybe this Loropechika, where the, you know, if this character is active, generate 2 energy, right? I think that would have helped the deck a little bit better. It is unfortunate that they gave the Mimosa the bounce card effect instead of the active, you know, generate 2. I think that would have helped this deck out a little bit better, because you do need to be at 5. As much as that doesn't sound like, you know, super hard to do in this deck, we do run 2, 5, 6, 7 double energy generators. So you really just need to keep the 1 or 2 on the back line. Like I said, I'll have to work on this list some the more I play it, but we do have a, you know, really 9 double energy generators because we have a site that will generate us double energy. But going on with the characters, we are running 3 of the 1 energy, 1 action point, Noelle, who is 2500 BP. She generates you 1 energy, and she is your color trigger. And you do usually want to max out on your color triggers, even though a lot of people say that red has the worst color trigger. I do think that that does leave a little room for us to put this at a 3 of, even though it is a really, really strong card. The space is just really, really tight. We want to run a lot of different names. But like I said, we will see if I can bump this up to a 4 of, but at the moment, I think 3 of in the deck is really good. Activate main if on the front line wants to return. You can only activate this ability if you use an event card this turn. Look at the top card of your deck, place it on the top of your deck or into your sideline. So you just do this, that way you can fuel your sideline with the event cards if you want to, which will help you get value for your big Noels, right? Like you want to just like run a lot of the events, and a lot of the events give you back their action points, so that's how you're able to, you know, not lose tempo in the game. We are just going to run 4 of the 0-drop Mimosa, who is just your generic get trigger, 1500 BP. Love the art here on the Mimosa. I think that's like when they first meet her on the couch there. But for this one, it is a get trigger. 4 of the Xander Energy, 1 action point, 1500 BP Noelle. She is a draw trigger. Very unfortunate she's not a get trigger, but she does say when play, draw a card, then place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. This is going to be one of the main cards that you want to mulligan for, because this is going to help you put the events in your sideline, so that way you can get to the big payoff of the 5 energy Noelle a little bit faster. Definitely probably one of the most important cards you want to see in your start hand. And then just 2 of the Loropechkas, the 0 energy, 1 action point, 1500 BP, and she is a draw trigger. And this one gives you a little pressure in the game. She says if you have 4 or more events in your sideline, this character gains 1500 BP. So a 3000 BP, 0 energy, 1 action point character late in the game isn't that bad, really. You know, it's not going to be a dead card in your hand, whereas like a lot of other cards that are your 0 drops later in the game don't give you a lot of value for what you're getting at the state of the game. Those are all the characters, so let's see what brings it all together, which are going to be your events. And you see we do run a lot of events here. We run 14 events and 2 site cards. Going into the site card, it is the Undine, which is going to be the character, you know, that helps Noelle out in the show. Really cool character design. I like Undine. Really interesting that it is the site. 3 energy, 1 action point. It is a get in life. So I think that's why you can run this at a 2 of and feel comfortable about it, because this is going to be one of your most important cards in the deck, because it does generate you 2 energy, but it is a get trigger, which I think helps it out. You play this site set to active on your field, which is awesome. Activate main, switch to resting once per turn. You can only activate this ability if Loropechika is on your field. Look at the top card of your deck, then place it at the top of your deck or into your sideline. This just fuels you getting all those events into your sideline, so that way you can get to the Noelle. You can see here the consistency to get this payoff into the Noelle. To get 4 in your sideline is going to be really, really easy to do. Now, we are running 3 of the final triggers. This is one that is, you know, not 2 energy, so you cannot grab it with some of your character effects, but it is still an event, and you still have to run 4 final triggers because they are so good. They are going to help you, you know, progress the state of the game, being able to, you know, play the event, get all your value because you played an event that turn, and then, you know, get your action points back to further the state of the game. We are running 4 of the Valkyrie armor. Now, this is your special in the deck. It is a special in life. It only costs you 2 energy, 1 action point, right? So it is going to be, you know, one of the lowest cost specials that we've seen in the game, because it comes with a very specific effect that it has. It doesn't just outright kill a body, right? Choose 1 character on your field. It gains 2500 BP, and this character cannot be blocked by a character with 2500 or less BP until the end of the turn. So it forces your opponent to not be able to block the character that you pick with a little body. They're going to have to lose a big body, right? And then it also says that the chosen character is Noel Silva. It also gains your opponent must block this character's attacks if able until the end of the turn. So if you pick Noelle, this becomes a kill spell because you're going to boost her up to such a high number, and your opponent has to block with her, and they can't block with a little one. They have to block with one of their big, you know, 4 energy, probably 4,000, 5,000 BP bodies, and this is really, really good. This card is super good. It's low to the ground, only costs you 2 energy, so that way when you do raid up and move up, you only need that event on the energy line, right? I do see this deck, the way you're going to be playing it is, you know, using all your stuff, moving up your bodies after you raid, and then playing your events because they're all so cheap. You only need the, you know, the site or some small bodies up. It's going to be a very cool deck where you just like kind of blow everything onto the board, and then you try, you know, not worried about your energy too much because none of these cards cost a lot. for the special. And then the other events, we are only running 3 of each of them. Sea Dragon's Lair, 2 energy, 1 action point. It is a draw trigger in life, which is really good because you don't always want this in your hand, because if it's a draw trigger, that means when they check it in life, it goes to the sideline and it fuels your Noelle, which is what the whole game plan is about. It says, choose 1 character on your front line. It gains your opponent cannot choose this character with abilities on characters, abilities on event cards, or trigger abilities until the start of your next turn. If Noel Silva is on your field, choose up to 1 of your AP cards and switch it to active. So you literally play this, give one of your characters like almost absolute protection. There may be a couple things I'm not thinking about that, you know, get rid of this, but this makes this Noelle super, super strong. Really amazing that you could just take any of your Noelles, make them invulnerable to your opponent's effects, and then get an AP back for free, because it just costs free. This card is so good, and it's going to be able to let you keep bodies on the board because your opponent can't clear off your Noelles. But you can give that ability to anyone, though. It's just if you don't pick Noelle, you do have to pay for it, so it's a little more costly, but you don't mind at all. 3 of this card, really good. And then 3 of the all-knowing priestess, Lolopechka. 2 energy, 1 action point, no trigger in life, which is absolutely ridiculous. So crazy that this event doesn't have it, but whatever. They're nerfing the deck. I understand. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck, reveal 1 card among them, and add it to your hand. Place the remaining cards on the top of your deck. If the card you revealed was a Noelle, Mimosa, or a Loropechika, which are your 3 ladies in the deck, the 3 ladies in red, or an event card with 2 or less energy, choose up to 1 of your AP cards and switch it to active. This is a free search in the deck, and then you're going to play this, get your action point back, and then proc all your abilities on the board that said if you use an event, going to be able to let this Noelle be really strong. That is all the cards in the deck. I do think that this deck is going to be a really strong deck, but I do think it will be pilot oriented, just like, you know, the Esper Sisters deck was, being able to mess with your sideline, get all these events in it, get things going. I do think that this one may be a little less consistent than that deck, but maybe have a little bit more of a higher payoff than that deck does. I definitely look forward to playing this deck a lot. Noelle is one of my favorites. Let me know what you all think about this deck. Do you think it's going to be, you know, a top tier deck? You think it's going to be meme deck? Keep it your locals. I want to know what y'all have to say about this deck. In my opinion, I do think that it is going to be, you know, on the cusp of being like a good deck, maybe like a 1.5 tier if I had to put it somewhere in between there. Only time will tell, right, once we play with these cards. But I am really excited. This is the deck I am most excited to build and play, so I am starting with this one. I will make more deck profiles for the decks that are coming out in this set. I appreciate everyone hanging out with me today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video. Peace.